Alrighty. Hi everyone, my name's Anabelle Smith. I'm a two-time Olympic diver and I've already competed here in Rio, and I competed in the 3-meter synchronized event and I actually won a bronze medal. So I'm going to show you that just before we start with the questions. So here's what an Olympic bronze medal looks like, with a nice ribbon as well. So I'm very proud to say that I won one of them. So I've got Ascot Park Primary School, St. Philip's Christian College, and Mossman Public School. So I'm just going to go through and answer some of your questions, and hopefully we get some good answers. All right, first of all, who, what, why inspired you to become an Olympian? I think I first got inspired to become an Olympian in 2000 when the Olympic Games were in Sydney. I remember clearly watching Kathy Freeman win her gold medal in the 400 meters in the athletics, and I remember watching that and being inspired and thinking I want to be like her one day. So I was always really sporty from when I was young, and as soon as I saw her win that gold medal, that's my first memory of the Olympics and my first memory of realizing that that was going to be my dream. How do you regain confidence after an injury? Injuries are an athlete's worst nightmare. We hate hurting ourselves like anyone does because it means that we have to stay at home and we have to do rehab exercises and we're not allowed to train. So I regain my confidence by doing visual training. So I pretend I'm doing my dives and I can see them in my head, and just making sure you stay positive throughout your injury so that when you're ready to get back in the water, you can start diving again. So a question from Sophia from St. Philip's. When did you start diving? I started diving when I was 11, so in grade 6 in primary school. And I'm now 23, so I've been diving for a long time. Bodhi from year 1. What are your best achievements in diving? I'd have to say my best achievement now is winning a bronze medal at the Olympics. It's definitely very special. But I've also won bronze medal at 2 Commonwealth Games, a World Cup, and a World Championship. So they're all very special. Question from Isabella from Mossman Public School. When you hurt your finger, did it affect your diving? Yes, unfortunately it did. Because we enter the water with our hands together like this, when I broke my finger, I wasn't able to grab my hands together. So I wasn't allowed to dive for 2 months. This was really hard until my finger got better, and I had to do everything landing on my feet. I wasn't allowed to land on my hands. Max asks, when and why did you decide to choose your career? I think I decided to stick with diving when I was about 13, and I got into a really hard elite program where we had to train 10 times a week. So that's when I knew that diving was going to be my career. Okay, back to Ascot. Another question. What is your daily routine and how many hours do you train? My daily routine, I wake up at 5:20 in the morning, so when you guys are probably still sleeping, and then I get ready and I go to training from 6 till 8 in the morning. And then I come home. Sometimes I go to uni, sometimes I go home and have a nap because I'm too tired, and then we go back to the pool from about 3 in the afternoon till 6 p.m. Then I go home, have dinner and go to bed. And we train about 28 to 30 hours a week. How do you feel now just before the Olympics? I'm very excited to be at the Olympics. It's always nerve-wracking before you compete, but just so happy to be here and to be part of a big Australian team is awesome. What is the village like? The village is huge. I just got back from dinner because it's nighttime over here in Rio, and the dining hall is probably 6 or 7 big basketball courts, wide and long. It's huge. They can fit so many, probably almost 8,000, 10,000 athletes. So it's massive. And we've got different outdoor pools throughout all the different apartments in the village. You can see a picture here. This is This is of the village, I think, before it was finished, so it's pretty big, as you can see, all the way down here. Who are you sharing a room with? I've actually got a room to myself, but we're in a big apartment that has 3 bedrooms. So all of the divers are in my apartment, but I have a room to myself because I was finished the earliest. So the other girls were still competing. What is your favorite food in Rio? I think my favorite food in Rio has been the fruit. There's so much fruit here, and I've been having passion fruits, which are ginormous. They're about this big, and the ones at home aren't that big. Tried apple and guava juice before. I've had that before, but I'd never tried a guava until I got to Rio, and they're really yummy. Who do you want to beat the most? Before my competition, we probably wanted to beat the Canadians the most because they'd beaten us by a small margin so many times, and we really wanted our chance to beat them. So luckily we beat them. All right, a question from Matilda from St. Philip's in grade 2. What does your training program consist of? So our training consists of our water diving training, where we actually do our dives into the pool. And then we also do what we call dry land training, and that's somersaults and flips into foam pits and bouncing on the trampoline out of the water. And then we also go to the gym and do strength and exercises to make sure our bodies are nice and strong for diving. Question from Mossman. Beatrice, have you ever hit your head or any part of your body on the diving board? Thankfully, I've never hit my head because our coaches teach us how to be safe when we dive and to make sure we're really a nice distance away from the board. I have tapped my feet on the board before, but that doesn't really hurt too much and it's not that dangerous. But we always learn to jump further out so we don't hit anything on the board. Holly R. If you could be any other Olympian, who would you be? I probably want to trade places for a day with one of the basketballers. One of my friends, Liz, she's over 2 meters tall, and so whenever we hang out and walk around the village, she's always holding her arm down here on my shoulders, and I have to hold my arm up here if I want to reach up to her shoulders. So I'd probably trade places with her for a day. Max from St. Philip's. When has there been a time when you had to overcome a challenge, and what did you do? The biggest challenge is probably injuries, when you have to have time off, but you just have to stay positive. And other challenges has been living interstate. I had to live in Brisbane for diving for 3 years, so I was away from my family, which was pretty difficult. But I just made sure I called my mum and dad every night and spoke to my family and got back to Melbourne, where my family's from, as much as I could, so I didn't miss home that much. Jensen, where will you keep your bronze medal when you get home? I can't tell you because then you might come to my house and try and take it. But I'll find a special spot for it, hopefully close to me at all times. Mia, how do you bounce back from setbacks? I think you just got to keep a positive mind and also always just keep pushing forward no matter what anyone says, and try and stick to your goals and stick to what you want to do. And then you can really get over any setback. Riley from grade 4, what advice would you give to children who would love to become an Olympic athlete? I would say work really hard at what you enjoy doing and try and put your best effort into any sport or school or music or drama, anything that you do, try and put your best effort in. And if you want to become an Olympian, you really got to train for many years and put in all the hard work at whatever sport that you choose to do. Jason, how do you work on getting the timing right with your partner? That's a good question. So I do synchronized diving where there's 2 of us going at the same time. So we have to practice diving together at the exact same time. And I'm actually the counter. So when we're standing on the board and my synchro partner Maddie's standing next to me, I stand up and I say, ready, 1, 2, 3, go. And then we both just have practiced so much that we know exactly when to start moving at the same time and do our dive at the same time. Ernie, what makes you focused for 4 years to compete in a 2-minute event? That's a very good question. We train a lot of our lives to only get 2 minutes of competition that's going to count on the big Olympic stage. So what keeps me focused is knowing that in those 2 minutes, I have to do the best dive that I can do. So if I don't train hard enough, or if I don't train my dives as best as I can every single time, then that might risk me not doing a good one in competition. So really got to focus on the technique for diving and making sure we're really able to calm down our nerves in competition. Lucy M, did you do gymnastics when you were younger? I did gymnastics for about 2 weeks before they told my mum that if I wanted to keep doing gymnastics, I'd have to quit all the other sports that I was doing. And I used to play soccer, little laths, netball. I used to be really sporty, so I didn't want to give up everything else just to do one thing. So I didn't do gymnastics for very long, but I was always flipping around on my trampoline in my backyard and teaching myself how to do backflips and handsprings, cartwheels. So I didn't do it, but I taught myself a lot of gymnastics. Charlotte asks, what other countries have you been to? Well, we might be here all morning for you guys if I go through all the countries I've been to, but I've traveled to so many countries for diving, like China, America, been to Puerto Rico, which is in South America, been to Barcelona in Spain, Italy, France, Germany, Great Britain, Dubai, India, where else? Indonesia, Malaysia, a lot of countries. So I've been very lucky to travel the world for diving, but we do just see really a lot of diving pools. All right, the last question from Mossman Public School. Will you come straight home after the Olympics, or will you have a break and do some traveling? And Leo asked that question. Well, Leo, I'm going to have a break for sure. We spend so much time building up to the Olympics. I'm looking forward to going home and spending some time with my family for a few weeks before I start to think about training again. And hopefully at the end of the year, I'll get to go over to London and visit my sister because she's actually working and living over there at the moment. So I'll go straight back home, straight back to uni to finish my studies, and then take a holiday at the end of the year. So I'm very excited for that. So thanks so much to everyone for tuning in to Chat to a Champ. I hope you guys are enjoying watching the games on TV. It's been so exciting to be over here and, feel really proud to be able to represent Australia and wear our green and gold with pride. And hopefully one day I'll be watching one of you guys doing a Chat to a Champ at the Olympics in whatever sport you guys might choose. So thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you some other time. Bye.